Israel appears to be intensifying its offensive in southern Lebanon, launching a ground assault to seize a key border town ahead of planned talks in Washington today. The IDF says they've struck about 150 Hezbollah targets in the past 24 hours. This comes after Israeli airstrikes killed more than 300 people in Beirut last week. The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will host talks with the Israeli and Lebanese ambassadors later this morning, but Israel has said it won't discuss a pause in fighting with Hezbollah, and Hezbollah is rejecting the Washington talks outright, urging the Lebanese government to back out. Chris Brown is in Beirut, and Chris, I can see you are there at one of the sites, one of the buildings that was leveled, hundreds of people killed just in the past week. No wasting time, though, in rebuilding.
Not at all, David. You know, the resilience of this country that has endured so much war, so much conflict, so many other disasters over decades is being tested again. This particular site was one that was hit, 6 days ago, is it now? 300 Lebanese killed in about 10 minutes when Israeli missiles and rockets attacked 100 different targets. We're told by some of the people who are doing the cleanup here that there were 10 people at this particular site killed, and there may still be 2 bodies left here in the rubble, and you smell, mixed with garbage and the smell of death, it's still pretty strong, David. We were talking to one man, just to give you again another idea of talking about resilience. He lives in this apartment over here across the street where they're throwing bricks and rocks down from. He lived through the port explosion a few years ago. His apartment there was destroyed, and now he told us he's having to deal with this upheaval again. There's more than 1 million people, after all, in Lebanon who have been displaced by this war. And as you mentioned, David, not a whole lot of hope that it's going to end very soon. We've heard very strong statements, both from the leader of Hezbollah and also from Israel's prime minister, that neither side is particularly interested that much in a deal. But Lebanon's government is. It does want this war to end. It wants to exert its sovereignty over its country, something that's been very, very difficult for this weak Lebanese government to do. And so that's where things stand heading into these discussions in Washington.
Yeah, I guess I would ask you, almost, Chris, what is the point of the Lebanese and Israeli representatives meeting if peace is not necessarily in the offing?
Obviously, each side is very entrenched, but the starting point for the Lebanese government is that there absolutely has to be a ceasefire to move on. They say they're not going to address any issues about disarming Hezbollah or moving forward if there's effectively a metaphorical knife to their throat. And Israel is saying it will not relent in its attacks until Hezbollah is dealt with. Israel has pushed into southern Lebanon, creating what it calls a buffer zone to protect what it says is needed in northern Israel from communities that are under attack. Marco Rubio is going to be mediating these talks. The U.S. needs a diplomatic win. We'll see what he can come up with, David.
Chris Brown on the ground in Beirut. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.